All right, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining this session. My name is Nick Rebeiro. I'm a product manager for HELIX Dispatch. And today I'm pleased to introduce our new product offering, HELIX Dispatch, a productivity module of the HELIX platform. So HELIX Dispatch aims to provide fleet management from the production phase to surface and all points in between to provide greater efficiency, productivity, and safety of underground mining operations. So HELIX Dispatch is providing automated production tracking, time tracking, and task management capabilities that aim to help mines identify inefficiencies that were previously uncovered, increase equipment utilization as a result of those findings, and ultimately maximize your material extracted from the mine. HELIX Dispatch also provides a holistic view for your supervisors and dispatchers to keep track of all activity occurring within the mine across all of your various equipment fleets of development, production, and auxiliary equipment. A unified task view will keep progress, will track the progress of all your different activities happening. Finally, we have several modules in the HELIX Dispatch product which aim to improve the safety of your underground equipment operators. So what we're going to do today is go through a typical workflow for an equipment operator using the PTX7. The PTX7 is a ruggedized device shared with other Komatsu entities that we will mount inside the equipment cab, and it will serve as the primary interface for the equipment operator when using HELIX Dispatch. It also contains a full computer on board that will be automatically processing data, capturing data from the field, and forwarding it on to the server. So, when you first boot up a PTX7, it usually occurs automatically when the equipment is powered on. The equipment operator will be faced with a login screen. The login screen serves as an authentication method to provide only authorized access into the HELIX Dispatch application. Equipment operators will each have their own unique IDs that they will use to log in. If you type in an ID which doesn't exist in the system, it'll give you an error, it won't allow you in. HELIX Dispatch also includes an optional feature to let you utilize training records to provide access only to qualified operators. So within your entire personnel list, only operators who are qualified for this vehicle will be able to get in. So this is an LHD. It's set up as an LHD today. If I try to log in with a truck operator, for example, it's going to give me a message that I'm not qualified, I'm not allowed in. The dispatcher has been made aware of this, and they will have to accept or reject my access into the system. So I'm not going to wait for the dispatcher to do that. So I'm just going to log in as an LHD operator with a different code, type enter, and then it takes me in. But once you've logged in, HELIX Dispatch will associate all of the data captured, all of the equipment utilization tracking will all be attached to me as an operator. So my name, my crew, my shift, all of that will be tied to all of my production data, which helps operations with more advanced reporting and analysis, looking back at the fact. So you can do reporting against crews, between different operators, between shifts. All of this metadata is attached to all the production data, now that I've logged in. Once you've logged in, the very first thing the PTX asks an equipment operator to do is go through a pre-start checklist. So the pre-start checklist is a digital version of a classic paper pre-start where equipment operators will do their walk around and pass and fail items, add comments, and wait for the shift boss to come around in his buggy and pick them all up from the whole crew. Or even worse, they come up at the end of the shift. So what we've done here is we've made it digital and allowed the operator the ability to pass and fail individual items by tapping on the screen. So items which are green are passed. Red means it's a critical item failure. Some items, if I fail them, it'll give me a yellow background. That tells me that it's a lower severity item. So if I fail that, I could still physically operate this equipment. So now I've failed several items which turn red, which indicates they're severe items. If I pass the rest of these, and I send in my checklist, it gives me an alert right away and says, you failed several critical items. You should not operate this equipment. And we also notify the dispatch control room of this as well. So immediately the maintenance team is aware, the dispatcher's aware, and they can try and remedy the situation immediately. So the main advantage for these digital checklists is the reaction times are way smaller, right? So instead of waiting to come and get the paper an hour or 2 hours later, they instantly made aware there's a failure, right? So we're trying to minimize that downtime. So pretending that I didn't just fail a critical item, I'm going to continue using my device. And now I'm faced with the home screen, the dispatch home screen. So there's 4 main areas in this home screen. I have a transactions panel, which shows me when I receive new messages from the office, when I get new tasks arriving from the office. And it keeps a log of things I've done as well, like changing a status or logging in and logging out. Then I have an information panel, which shows me how many loads and tons I've moved in a shift. I have what we call the production cycle button, which shows me my current vehicle operational state. So here you can hear that beeping. Every time that it beeps, the vehicle state is changing. So now I'm in a loading state, and then it shows you your next state, which is going to be travel full. And then here we have several different action items that you can use that we'll go through later on. So you may have heard the beeping going on as I've been talking these last few minutes. But what we've set up here in the booth is a demonstration of the automatic haul cycle capture capabilities that we have in HELIX Dispatch. So when coupled with the MST's tracking solutions, HELIX Dispatch can automatically detect when you are loading and dumping material based on geofencing events. If we look over at this map here or how much material you want moved in the shift, separating it out or waste, and set targets, and then you can very easily see on this gauge if you've met your production targets for the shift or not in real time as the material is being moved. If we wait here long enough, you'll see this page refresh. After the LHD has done another movement, this number will go up. Waste tons, we don't have anything simulating it. Another great feature of this dashboard is ore pass balances. It's very important for operations in underground mining to make sure that your ore pass balances are not dropping too low or going too high, because both have different impacts on operations. If it goes too low, it can cause a safety hazard when material does get dumped in there. And if it goes too high, it could get jammed up. So you could set your minimum and maximum targets for your ore passes and monitor in real time the statuses. As your equipment are driving around, loading for more passes and dumping at crushers, these will also get updated in real time. You'll see them moving. So this is a real-time dashboard that helps you keep track of that. And then finally, we have production drilling numbers. So operations are concerned usually with the productivity of their drills, and they measure that productivity in how many feet or meters they've drilled in a shift. So here we'll keep track in real time of all those meters being drilled. That's being captured by the PTX device. So a very quick snapshot of operations coming from your dispatch data. So those are the 3 components I've set up here to show you, but I'd like to ask if anybody has any questions about anything I've shown or anything else about dispatch that you'd like to know.